The history of humanity is like the night sky. There are stars that still shine brightly, and there are others that once blazed brilliantly but have faded, leaving behind only faint glimmers and great questions for future generations. What follows are 5 ancient civilizations that once reached their peak and then mysteriously vanished, perfect subjects for the series Journey Through the Traces of History. This is an incredibly captivating story, full of mystery and intellect. We can truly immerse ourselves in the world of the Maya, explore their greatness, and seek answers to their sudden disappearance. Let us step together into the jungles of Central America, where stone pyramids continue to tell their stories. Now, we invite you to listen to the first tale in the series, Maya Civilization, the astronomical geniuses who left behind a city of gold. Dưới đây là bản dịch tiếng Anh của câu chuyện bạn cung cấp, được giữ nguyên nội dung, cảm xúc và bối cảnh lịch sử. Part 1. The City of the Gods. Deep in the heart of the Central American jungle lies a lost world, a world of grand stone cities, of divine kings, and of geniuses who mapped the stars. They developed a complex writing system, created the concept of zero, and built structures meant to last forever. Their civilization was brilliant, sophisticated beyond belief, and then they disappeared. They abandoned the golden cities of their sons, leaving behind watery pyramids. Why? What happened to one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known? Welcome to the world of the Maya. Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Trail of History. First, we need to clear up a common misconception. The Maya were not a unified empire like Rome or Egypt. They were a collection of powerful, independent city-states that traded, communicated, and often went to war with each other. Think of them like ancient Greece, but in the heart of the jungle. I'm standing in Tikal, one of the most powerful and majestic achievements of the Maya during the Classic period, which lasted from around 250 to 900 CE. Take a look. What you're seeing are not just temples. To the Maya, these were sacred man-made mountains, known as wits. They were gateways connecting the 3 realms of the universe: the underworld of Xibalba below, the human world in the middle, and the heavens above. At the tops of these pyramids, kings known as Kuhul Ajau, or Holy Lords, would perform rituals to communicate with the gods, ensuring that the sun would rise, the rain would fall, and the maize would grow. Their history wasn't lost, it was carved in stone. These stone slabs, called stelae, are like pages from the history books of the city. They recorded the lives of kings, their births, their coronations, political marriages, and most importantly, their victories in war. For example, this particular stela might tell the story of the victory of Tikal's king Stormy Sky over the rival city-state of Calakmul. But what about the lives of ordinary people? While kings lived in stone palaces, thousands of Maya lived in wooden huts with thatched roofs clustered around the city centers. They were skilled farmers. They developed advanced agricultural techniques to grow food in the harsh jungle environment. And the most important crop, the soul of Maya civilization, was maize. To the Maya, maize was more than food, it was sacred. They believed the gods had created humans from corn dough. The cycle of maize, sprouting, growing, and harvesting, symbolized the very cycle of human life. Beyond farming, Maya society included skilled artisans who crafted jade, shells, and obsidian into spiritual items. There were merchants who traveled hundreds of miles on foot through the jungle to trade goods using cacao beans, yes, the origin of chocolate, as currency. And of course, there were the astronomers, priests, and scribes, the keepers of knowledge of writing and the stars. One of the darkest and most haunting images of Maya culture is the ball game known as pits. It wasn't just a sport, it was a religious ritual, reenacting the mythic struggle between heroes and gods from the other world. Players used their hips, thighs, and shoulders to propel a heavy rubber ball through a small stone hoop high above the ground. The game was brutally difficult, and sometimes the cost of playing was death. Depending on the city-state and the context of the match, the losing team, and in some cases, even the captain of the winning team, would be sacrificed to the gods. Let me know if you want to continue with the next part, or adapt this story for video narration, podcast, or educational series. I'm here to help you bring the Maya's legacy to life. Part 2. The Cosmic Match-In. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Part 2 of the story of the Maya civilization. In the previous part, we marveled at their stone cities. Today, we will explore an even greater process, their intellectual process. For us, time is a straight line, going from the past to the future. But for the Maya, time is a circle, a cycle that repeats and repeats. They believe that the universe had been created and destroyed at least 4 times ago, and their fate was tied to these cosmic cycles. To keep track of these cycles, they developed not one, but several incredibly complex and precise calendar systems. The Tzolk'in calendar. This is a 260-day sacred calendar, like a horoscope, that determines religious rituals and the fate of each person. The Hob calendar. This is a 365-day agricultural calendar based on the cycle of the sun, used to track the seasons. These two calendars work like 2 interlocking gears. Every 52 years, they return to the same point of publication, marking a Mayan century. And to keep track of even longer periods of time, they created the Long Count calendar, a system that caused worldwide confusion in 2012. This calendar does not anticipate the end of the world, but simply marks the end of a great creative cycle that lasted more than 50 years. How did they create such historically accurate systems? The answer lies in 2 extraordinary intellectual achievements. The fourth is mathematics. While Europe was still struggling with the cumbersome Roman numerals, the Maya developed an incredibly efficient base, 20 mathematical system, using just 3 symbols, a dot for 1, a horizontal string for 5, and a shell for 0. That's right. The Maya independently invented the concept of zero, one of the most important mathematical inventions of all time. This allows them to make authorized sums and record quantities to increase the rate of goods. And the second thing is astronomy. From the top of these sacred mountains, the Maya priests, their astronomers, observed the sky night after night, century after century. They had no astronomical texts, using only their naked eyes. They recorded the cycles of the sun, the moon, and especially Venus with incredible precision. Their calendar counts a year of 365.242 days, almost exactly matching the modern scientific number of 365.24219. They could predict real phenomena and eclipses. Their architectural works were often built perfectly with the solstices, the analysis of the sky. But for the Maya, astronomy and mathematics were not pure sciences. They were tools for communicating with the gods. They believed that the universe was a living entity, and that in order for it to continue to function, for the sun to rise every day, for the rain to fall for the young and the old, the gods needed nourishment. And the food of the gods was chulel, or life force, which was most concentrated in the blood of humans. This is one of the most controversial and puzzling aspects of the Maya civilization: blood sacrifice. The Maya kings and queens, who were considered to have the most divine blood, regularly performed bloodletting rituals. They would use sharp objects made from flying fish spines or obsidian to pierce other parts of their bodies, ears or other sensitive parts, so that their blood would drip onto paper and be burned, the smoke rising to the sky to feed the gods. And sometimes, to please the gods in times of crisis such as drought or war, they needed a greater sacrifice: human life. The sacrificial victims were often high-ranking war veterans, who were religiously processed before being sacrificed. Their deaths were not seen as a brutal act, but as a sacred mission with meaning, a transformative energy necessary to maintain the balance of the universe. They could be cast into the spirits, this cenote, as a gift to the world. They built a system. The ancients had a complex cosmology to understand the gods, to predict the future, and to maintain the balance of the universe through ritual and blood. A system that has allowed them to survive and thrive for thousands of years. But what happens when they fail in their first act of gratitude? What happens when the rains fail, the storms dry up, and the gods turn their backs on their most devout followers? The answers are written in the silent stones of the greatest abandoned cities. Part 3. Tunk of the Gods. Background music has a sad, desolate color. It opens with slow, decaying shots of a Maya city less duplicated than Tikal, such as Palenque or Calakmul, with tree roots circling the stonework. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the final part of the story of the Maya civilization. In the previous part, they found a highly intelligent script, a society that could read the language of the stars. Now we face the biggest mystery of all. Why did they let go? Around 900 AD, the unthinkable happened to the powerful city-states of the southern lowlands. For up to 2 centuries, the great construction projects stopped. The work of carving history into stone tablets ceased. And most importantly, the people began to abandon the cities that had been centers of power, culture, and religion for a millennium. This was not a single event. This was a process, a rate of decline, called by historians the classic Maya collapse. What's the culprit? There's no simple answer. Most scientists today believe it wasn't a single cause, but a perfect storm of multiple motifs coming together at once. Suspect 1. Han Chinese. This is considered the prime suspect. By analyzing sediments at the bottom of lakes and in caves, climate scientists have discovered evidence of a series of prolonged megadroughts, which occurred right around the time of the Maya's decline. For a civilization that relied entirely on rain-fed corn agriculture, this was nothing short of a death sentence. No rain meant no corn meant famine, and famine led to social unrest and a loss of faith in kings, whose job it was to secure the favor of the weather gods. Suspect 2. Warfare. As resources became scarce, competition between city-states became increasingly fierce. Mayan wars became increasingly brutal. Based on carvings and evidence, historians believe that warfare was no longer about small-scale capture of life. It became a total war, targeting both city and enemy, exploring the seasons and means of the whole components. Suspect 3. Environmental destruction. To build the pyramids and provide electricity with limestone, the Maya needed large amounts of firewood to burn the stone into sand. To feed their growing population, they cut down large areas of existing forests to make way for wood. Large-scale forest development led to soil erosion and may have exacerbated drought activity. Essentially, they may have inadvertently destroyed the environment that sustained them. Table. Put these pieces together. A prolonged drought causes agricultural failure. Kings, in a desperate attempt to please the gods, demand more wars to obtain prisoners for sacrifice. Wars demand more resources, which leads to more deforestation, which makes the drought worse. It's a deadly loophole, a system that has collapsed within. But there is one extremely important thing to be clear about. The classic Maya civilization subsided, but the Maya did not disappear. They simply migrated. While the cities in the south declined, the cities in the north of the Yucatan Peninsula, such as Chichen Itza and Mayapan, continued to thrive. And today, more than 7 million Maya still live in their ancestral homeland. They still speak their own language, still practice ancient traditions and rituals, mixed with Catholicism. Their cultural foundation has strengthened their survival through punishment, war, and time. What is the product of the Maya? It is not just their silent stone ruins. It is their great contributions to mathematics and astronomy. It is the strength of their posterity today. And perhaps their most important legacy is a timeless warning about the fragile relationship between civilization, climate, and conflict. A reminder that no empire is eternal, and that even the wisest geniuses can fall before the laws of nature. The golden cities have been abandoned, but the wisdom of the Maya still resonates forever. A testament to one of the most brilliant civilizations the world has ever known. Thank you for joining us in this complex and intricate story. Goodbye, and see you again in the next journey through history.